These are some examples of some of the most iconic images of NBA history. Us NBA fans have seen these images so many times that they've essentially been branded onto our brains. These are the moments and images that define the NBA's rich history and define the legacies of some of the greatest players to ever live. With all of this being said, these pictures tell a story that often go deeper than many of us realize. They're more than just cool images, they're encapsulated moments that were the climax of a sequence of events. They're the moments that were immortalized because of the vast and legendary stories they tell. Today, we're looking at an iconic image from what may be the greatest hold my beer moment in NBA history. It's June of 1992, and the defending champion Chicago Bulls are coming off of a tough Eastern Conference Finals where they defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers in 6 games. Meanwhile, the Portland Trail Blazers had just defeated the Utah Jazz in 6 games as well, sending themselves to the NBA Finals for the second time in 3 seasons. This all set up a colossal showdown between the 2 best teams throughout the year, who were led by the top 2 players in that season's MVP race, Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler. They played the same position, they were similar in stature, similar in athletic ability, were almost the same age, and were both the leader of their teams. So naturally, amidst the hype of these NBA Finals, these 2 superstars were being compared to one another constantly among the fans and amongst the media. Maybe the biggest talking point that was consistently being repeated was that Clyde Drexler was just like Michael Jordan, except that Clyde was the better 3-point shooter. Needless to say that this is the kind of narrative that Michael Jordan has been known to take personally. But whether or not MJ liked it, there was certainly some merit to it. Throughout the regular season, Drexler shot 338 3-pointers and made 33.7% of his attempts. Jordan, on the other hand, shot less than a third of that, attempting only 100 3-pointers throughout the season, and he made just 27% of those attempts. Anyone who considered Drexler as the better perimeter shooter were completely justified, but Jordan thought otherwise. On the eve of Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Jordan was being interviewed and was asked about the comparison between him and Drexler in terms of 3-point shooting. Jordan went on to say that 3-point shooting isn't a part of his game that he focuses on, and said that he would be a much better 3-point shooter if he focused on it more. And then, as a direct quote, was the bombshell statement, "Clyde is a better 3-point shooter than I choose to be." This was a spicy quote for sure, but as far as we could tell, that seemed to be the end of it, and we assumed both players would bring the skills we've come to expect from them. Well, now it's game day.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1992 NBA Finals. Tonight, Game 1 between the Portland Trail Blazers and the Chicago Bulls.
The Windy City crowd was absolutely electric, but even they had no idea what they were about to witness. The game begins with Jordan looking to be somewhat of a distributor and play within the flow of the offense. Clyde also appears to be having a strong start of his own, looking to justify the comparisons between the 2 superstars. But soon after is when we notice something different. Jordan's first shot attempt is a 3-pointer. It's off, and the game goes on. Shortly after, Jordan begins to find his stride offensively. But a couple plays later, he once again attempts a 3-pointer right in Drexler's face. Given that it wasn't within rhythm and that it was his second attempt in such a short amount of time, it seemed pretty clear that the 3-point comparison was something that was still in the back of Jordan's mind. Halfway through the first quarter now, and MJ once again lets it fly.
The field. Jordan again from 3-point land. Most unusual to see Michael bombing away. That's his 3rd 3-point attempt.
At this point, Jordan begins to catch fire, hitting an array of jumpers, as the Bulls begin to seize the momentum. A couple minutes later, MJ hits his second 3 off of Scotty's pass, and his third 3 shortly after that. He closes out the first quarter completely on fire and making the game look easy, finishing with 18 of the Bulls' 33 first quarter points. With momentum in the Bulls' favor, Jordan took an extensive rest and didn't return until it was halfway through the second quarter. But 6 minutes is all Jordan would need to make history. MJ immediately continues his abuse of Drexler, scoring on him in the post. Moments later, Clyde tries to take back some momentum with a 3-pointer, but to no avail. Bulls rebound, and Jordan goes on to return the favor by draining a 3 of his own. It seemed very personal at this point. With that 4th 3-pointer from MJ, he tied the NBA record for the most 3-pointers ever made in one half of an NBA Finals game. The Blazers called a timeout, but a simple stop in action wasn't going to cool off the best player in the world, and as soon as play continued, he resumed his dominance. He then made his fifth three-pointer, again directly in front of Drexler, securing the record as his own for the most made threes in a finals half. You could see the shock in the faces of the Portland Trailblazers. This was a guy who made only 27 three-pointers over the course of an 82-game regular season, and now they're witnessing him breaking three-point records on the game's biggest stage. If Jordan hadn't completely made his point yet to Clyde and the rest of the world about the three-point shooting comparison, then this next sequence surely sealed it.
The steal by Pippen. And Jordan! 32 for Jordan. The Bulls by 14. Drexler for three, air ball. Here's Jordan for three, yes! Did you see that look? Michael indicating he can't believe it.
With his sixth three-pointer, he had now tied the NBA record for the most threes in an NBA Finals game, and it only took him one half. With that iconic shot, he also scored his 35th point, which is still an NBA record to this day for the most points ever scored in a half of an NBA Finals game. Pretty incredible stuff when you consider the fact that he didn't even play in 6 minutes of the first half. The Bulls had a commanding lead at the end of the first half, and with the lead reaching nearly 30 points early into the third quarter, Jordan and the Bulls simply cruised from that point on, as he finished the game with 39 points and a 122-89 victory. Marv Albert said Jordan's shrug meant he couldn't believe what he just did. Magic Johnson has his own explanation as to what Jordan meant to say with his famous shrug, and it may or may not be accurate. But for me, given the full context of the comparisons with Clyde Drexler, the chatter about his three-point shooting, the statement by Jordan the day before, and the fact that he just broke the three-point record immediately after Drexler's airball, I always personally interpreted it as Jordan's way of saying, "I tried to tell you." The Last Dance was incredible to watch, but I was kinda disappointed during this bit of the documentary, as I felt like they left out some key details of this incredibly iconic performance. Hopefully this video helped elaborate upon it. This game alone is enough for me to tell people not so fast when they act like Jordan couldn't thrive in this modern three-point shooting era. How do you think Jordan would do in the modern era of the long ball? And was this game the greatest hold my beer moment in NBA history? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.